these past few years, I really tried to belong here. But it never truly felt like home. Engage.
Hey, welcome back to the Escape Podcast, your source for all good things in the universe and movies. I'm Josh.
And I'm Dave.
And today we're talking about the second Picard trailer. Or is it Star Trek Picard?
I believe it is officially called Star Trek, Picard.
All right, so this is just a mini episode, just something real quick to give our thoughts on the new trailer.
Yes.
So, first off, I've probably said this many times before, I am a huge Star Trek The Next Generation fan. I know you are.
Yes.
Even though that is not your start-off point, right?
Yes, I was really into Voyager. That's the show that was on when I first became a fan, and so that's just where I got on board with it.
Right. I used to watch Next Generation when I was a kid. I think they used to show like the older episodes, I think like 11 p.m., and I used to try to stay up, even though I had school the next day, to watch them. Now, granted, I have not seen any of STD, and
I'm nodding yes, but I
don't have any STDs that I know of. But anyway, I get this kind of has the look of that, I feel like, and I'm not really a fan of that. The actual cinematography, I don't like the look.
Okay.
And here's my thing. I kind of get the feeling that if this wasn't a Picard show, it's kind of like looks like the same old stuff, and that concerns me. So I feel like they're trying to rope you in by, hey, it's a Picard show. Hey, there's Data. Hey, there's 7 and 9. Hey, Captain Picard Day banner, all this stuff. But I feel like on its own merit, it didn't look that great. Personally, I am not a fan of the JJ movies. And a lot of the stuff also looks like they're really trying to tie it both to Star Trek Discovery and to JJ's Trek.
Well, officially there is no connection.
Well, the Romulans, assuming they're Romulans, those guys that were dragging him around, they looked like JJ's Romulans to me, just without the face tattoos.
Okay, so, you're onto something there a little bit. You mentioned the JJ connection. The only JJ connection, as far as I'm aware of, is how in the beginning of the first JJ movie, they talk about Romulus exploding in the Next Generation.
I get that.
As far as I know, that's probably going to be the only connection.
Okay. So
as far as the plot goes.
So we have a young girl who's pretty much our main. It's almost like you might say Picard is like Gandalf or someone. He's basically, kind of going to be like the mentor or something.
Like Obi-Wan.
There you go. And I'm wondering if more it's going to focus on her, even though I have no idea. His name is on it's his show, supposedly. Now, if you know anything about Star Trek Nemesis, at the wedding scene, they were pushing to have Jerry Ryan as 7 and 9 be a wedding guest at Riker and Troy's wedding, and even Jerry Ryan said that makes no sense because her character has never met any of the Next Gen crew, so she's not really friends with them. And so when they show her here, I kind of thought, why is she here? It's almost like they're doing just that they tried to do in 2002.
Oh, well, no, there's...
Okay, yeah, I know, obviously, because she was a former Borg, and the Borg look like they're going to be the big heavy. I get that, but guess what? Picard used to be a Borg, too.
Well, there's more to it.
Okay.
I just saw on the news today that Hugh is coming back.
I've heard that. I heard that he's actually the one you see on, the table, and they're looks like they're taking off...
I wasn't sure.
Implants.
It kind of looked like him.
That's
maybe.
What I've heard.
But also, not as a side note too, they also announced that Riker and Troy are going to be reprising their roles for the show as well. So there's some heavy hitters coming from. Generation.
It's like I don't have a problem with Jerry Ryan. In fact, it would have been nice if there was a little more intermingling here and there with the Next Gen, the DS9, and the Voyager crew. But it almost just seems like, hey, let's get this. So you're Star Trek alumni, and it happens to be a beautiful woman, into the new show to kind of help really push, we got something for the old Next Gen fans, we got something for Voyager fans. Who knows? We'll throw in a DS9 guy or something there.
So you're saying what you're saying is you think this feels contrived?
Yeah, okay. Here's the thing: of all the shows they could do, I want them to do something in the future. they did prequel of Enterprise. They did a prequel of all JJ stuff, technically. STD is supposed to be a prequel. I'm tired of prequels. I was cool with it the first time with Enterprise, but after that, it's like, let's move it forward in the timeline. So I'm happy they're doing that.
Yes.
And I want to see a character I know, I guess.
Well, you're going to see a lot of characters.
Did you notice the one guy looks like the Scorpion King's little cousin? Like he looked just like Dwayne Johnson from the Mummy Returns. He had the long hair and like he just looked just like a skinny Scorpion King, and it was just I couldn't help but kind of find that funny.
I didn't think about that, but now that you mention it, it looks a lot like that.
Yeah,
aesthetically.
So the other big thing is obviously we have Data now. I don't know if this is actually going to be Data. That could be a holodeck thing where he was maybe trying to.
It could be a number of things. It could be Data. It could be a holodeck Data. It could be B4.
If it's B4, it's basically Data now.
Because right. But and also this could.
What about Lord? Was he destroyed?
I don't. He was dismantled.
And they showed this one in pieces, so maybe this is lore.
But it looked like this one was damaged, so I think this probably
How did it look damaged?
They showed parts of the torso that looked damaged.
Oh.
And so it looked like maybe they probably just acquired these pieces of Data from probably the debris field from...
I don't buy that. I don't buy that any part of Data would survive
I totally think that's what it is.
Wait, why would they have to do that when they have essentially a Data clone?
Well, yeah, I mean...
All they'd have to do is upgrade some hardware, they said.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
Okay, but here's the big thing. Was that Brent Spiner actually with like some prosthetic over, like with some rubber on his face, essentially, to make him look a little smoother? Was that some kind of software update? Like, what were they doing to his face?
I read somewhere, I don't remember where I read it, but I read somewhere, since, Brent Spiner, he is 70 years old now, and they have been waiting for a reason to bring Data back. And so far, they haven't had the ability to. So now, I think I read somewhere that was actually Data, like, with the makeup. That was Brent Spiner with the makeup on.
Like rubber, right? Latex?
Well, no, there was no...
so they airbrushed him digitally?
They basically digitally tried to de-age
It's like,
him.
It doesn't look quite right, though.
Right, it doesn't.
His face, not only, like, the smoothness, but, like, it looks more rounder.
Right. And so...
Now, and also, I know there was a Next Gen episode. Was it All Good Things? Maybe before that. There was somewhere in there where they talked about how Data, he made a, like, aging program to try to make himself look older. He's Pinocchio. He wants to be human.
Right. That's possible.
We're looking at a picture of it right now. It just, like I said, his face looks too round and
somewhere I read also
the eyes don't look quite right either.
There was a fan someone said it looks like Data just got his wisdom teeth removed.
Yeah.
So, but like he looks fine in the face right here. It's just like in the side of his cheeks, and something looks weird, like he's a squirrel storing food or something. But like if you zoom in and you can see the reason I think it might be B4, that is like the B4 outfit around his neck. That's like there was never a uniform.
Again, I don't see how anyone could think it's the actual Data body that was destroyed. It just it's silly.
But I mean I really think that's where they're going. Because they were talking about...
Well, yeah, they left it open because they wanted... If they had done a sequel to Nemesis, that's how they were going to try to have a back door to have Data still be there.
No, my point is, I think they may have actually tried to get pieces of Data, and I think that's what we saw from the... Because it was when... No, listen.
How do you assume all that survived?
No, but listen, this is why I say that.
Okay.
During the trailer, they started talking about how Data sacrificed himself.
Yes.
And when Picard was saying that was when they showed the pieces of Data, when he was talking about
and
Data
I took that as
sacrificing himself.
I think that's the B4 robot, android, whatever, that they... Disassembled, yeah. Well, because they said that Dr. Soon was a genius when it came to robotics, so maybe somebody... I mean, Data had granted rights, but all the other Soon robots didn't. So maybe they wanted to learn how he exactly did stuff so they could make other Datas, just like they were trying to do in The Measure of a Man.
That's possible.
So, anyway, regardless, I think they're going a lot on...
Anything's possible.
Yeah. Bottom line, I'm not excited about it. I'm intrigued, but I'm also concerned.
So you're mildly excited, but mostly concerned.
No, I wouldn't say even excited. I'm intrigued with what they're going to do, but I'm nervous they're going to wreck it because I don't think they've done really good Star Trek for quite some time now.
Okay, so we're looking at another picture here.
I don't want to.
And you can see
yeah, I get it.
Damage.
Yeah, he's yeah, okay.
There's some damage there.
Okay, but if this is literally the body of Data, then he held up really well in that blast.
It's possible.
So anyway, like I said, I don't know if I'll ever even get to watch this show because this is going to be a CBS All Access, correct?
Well, I actually plan on subscribing.
Okay.
Now, because now I have two reasons: Discovery and Picard, and even though it is what it is. I don't want to miss out on on what's happening in the world of Star Trek.
Right, and that's another thing. I think that's rotten that they're making
It is, but here's the thing: their plan is working. CBS's plan was to get people to subscribe by monopolizing Star Trek and using Star Trek to get people who are Star Trek fans to subscribe. It's working.
It didn't work on me.
Well, now Picard fans or Next Generation fans, they're going to be.
Okay, so
it's slowly working. I think.
Did you notice that 7 of 9, which I'm wondering also if she's going to just go by her real name now?
Oh, probably. Everything
because she
about
acted
that.
very human. She was acted very normal. It seemed like she dropped all the.
7 of 9 was always a character that was. She was assimilated as a young girl, and she never knew anything but the Borg life until she was saved from the collective, and so she probably has family on Earth.
It's funny to me that after all these years, they can't get that stuff off her face.
Well, yeah, I mean, even the EMH doctor wasn't able to get everything out.
I know, but Picard...
but Picard, yeah.
I think it's funny that the Borg were nice enough to not cut off any of Picard's limbs. They just gave him a big glove.
Big glove, yeah. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, with 7 of 9 and Picard and Hugh, all three of those people being involved in this, and the fact that there's actually a scene in the trailer where you see, it looks like Romulans or Vulcans, I'm not sure. Romulans, probably. Walking around this room, and there's a sign that says there have been like thousands of days without any assimilation. Yeah. And so I think there's some kind of plot here that the Romulans may be trying to use Borg technology.
Did you
for some purpose.
Have you read any Star Trek novels?
No.
Okay, Shatner. Well, I don't know how much Shatner actually wrote it, but there's a married couple, Garfield Stevens or something like. I think there's their last names. There was a book that came out. It was called Star Trek: The Return. It came chronologically. It would take
The
place.
Return. I read The Return.
Okay,
after the events. That was a Shatner novel.
With them, but I'm sure it's probably more them than him.
Okay.
Anyway, regardless, and in that book, it takes place after the events of Generations, and what you find out is happening in that one is that the Romulans and the Borg have actually teamed up. Now,
really,
I don't really understand why the Borg would have to team up with really any. I know they did. Technically, they teamed up with the Federation because of Species 1,400,708, but that's a joke.
Species 8472.
I was being stupid. But I don't really follow. I feel like the Borg shouldn't have had to team up with anybody. I didn't think they should have teamed up with the Romulans in that book. I don't think they should have had to team up with the Federation. That it makes them seem weak to me.
Well, on Voyager, they formed an alliance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I feel like that weakens the Borg. They should just be
the ultimate.
Yeah, this unstoppable force.
Yeah.
And the fact they would have to be like, whoa, we need help.
I think when they were first introduced, they were meant to be like the ultimate of ultimate bad guys. But I think the writers of this show quickly determined we need something else now. People are getting sick of the Borg. We want something bigger.
It's kind of like in Voyager. What was it the Herosians? Is that this one that wore all the armor? They were like almost like the Predator.
Yeah.
Like I hated that episode where they did that holodeck thing where they wanted to like learn how different people behaved, and like I was like, no, they should just be hunters that just go out and just
correct,
and that weakened them. Anyway, but all this to say, it reminds me of that novel and what they did there, and I'm just wondering if they're taking some kind of cues from that, or if it just seems that way. I don't know.
Speaking of cues, I heard Q might be involved with this show as well.
All right. Well, when does the show premiere?
Early 2020 is what the trailer says. Okay. So probably January.
Okay. So we got some time. I'm guessing they'll drop at least one more trailer before then.
Right, and I wanted to say too regarding the appearance of Brent Spiner in the trailer. Here's something that happened when the first Discovery trailer came out, and they showed the ship. for the first time in the first trailer. It looked terrible, effects-wise.
Okay.
And it was like a good, like...
So you're saying maybe it will look better by the...
I think by the time the show starts airing, he's going to look better. Because this is like a way early.
Do you think he's going to be a major player in the whole show, or do you think this is just a...
I don't know.
Trying to dangle a carrot in front of us to get us to...
If he's in the first major trailer of the show, I would think everything that they focus on in that first big trailer are going to be significant points of the show. I would have to assume that.
Yeah, but do you think, what I'm getting at is, do you think he's going to be just like in an episode or two, or do you think he's going to carry through the whole series?
Well, I don't know if he's going to be in every single episode as a main character, but it depends on if what we saw was Data, or if it was just like a holodeck hologram thing where Picard is still mourning the loss and feels bad for the loss of
If that was the case, if that's all he is, I don't think they should have shown that. I think that's... Yeah. Anyway, anyone you want to see?
I want to see the Titan.
No, I meant, person. Any character you want to see?
I know, but yeah. As far as things go, I want to see the Titan. But as far as characters go, I'd like to see some DS9 people. Mm-hmm. That'd be cool.
Who's your favorite DS9 character?
I'm a big fan of Dr. Bashir. He's like one of my favorite DS9 characters. He was always really relatable to me, and I just finished watching all those seasons. Those are so good. Mm-hmm. I think DS9 is growing on me the older I get.
DS9 I think is probably one of the better written. Well, I think it also had a problem in the first two seasons. I think it took at least season 3 or 4 for it to get good.
As a kid, when I was watching Voyager, DS9 was also on at the same time, and when I was first becoming a Trek fan, and I just couldn't get into DS9. It was just dark. And
I didn't even...
But as I've gotten older, it's more entertainment, I guess. I find it more entertaining.
There you go.
So
Bashir?
So I would say Bashir, I want to see Q. Q has to show up in this. As far as I'm concerned, he has to show up.
Okay.
Because this character, Picard, as a character, and Q, I mean, they're always so intertwined with each other through the next generation.
But don't you think they kind of finished Q's arc with Picard?
I mean, maybe, last... but I don't know. I really
want to see Worf.
It's a good.
Worf has always been my favorite.
Worf is going to be. This is the thing. Hashtag We Want Worf.
I want Worf.
Has been a thing for a Captain Worf TV show, and so
I would have been way more excited about.
This is probably a good opportunity for that fire to be rekindled.
Yeah,
and for people to get interest into a Worf TV show.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that so much. Because that would be awesome. And I think as far as I know, Worf has now been, the longest...
Michael Dorn has had more Star Trek time than anyone else.
In the history
He's
of Star
all
Trek.
7 seasons of Next Gen. He was in, season 4 through 7...
Of DS9.
He was in 4 movies, and then he played his grandfather or great-grandfather in Star Trek 6.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Your glass is full, my glass is half empty.
Yeah, I guess
that's kind of the norm for us.
It's the norm for us.
Yeah.
I tend to be a more optimistic. Even mushroom clouds have a silver lining. So,
all right.
But I was also going to say, as far as characters come back, I really do actually, over time, hope to see at least 1 or 2 appearances from every main Next Generation cast member. I would love to see Dr. Crusher at some point. At least show up once or twice.
Okay.
Geordi once or twice.
Yeah.
I think I read.
I love that crew.
That, I think I read somewhere that there's a good chance Geordi might come back on this show.
LeVar
at some
Burton?
point. Yeah, at some point,
Yeah.
LeVar said he'd probably expressed interest in showing up for this. So yeah. Also, if Jerry Ryan is going to be 7 of 9 at some point, maybe it'd be nice to see if she's still with Chakotay, because they left it off with that. Her love interest was Chakotay when Voyager ended.
I forgot about that.
And also maybe Captain Janeway.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm a Voyager fan. That's my favorite spinoff so far. So
okay.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about it. I'm really excited. I've been dying since they killed off Data. I've been dying for them to find a way to bring Data back in some form or another. And so after nearly 2 decades of hoping, it's finally happening. So I'm very excited.
All right. Well, that's it for now.
I'm good.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we will catch you sooner or later.
Yes.
Bye.
Peace.